went through a very long period in my life. I'm still very young, but I went.
She was like, you? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
This story begins outside a candy store, where a 12-year-old girl stood in tears, clutching her phone, overwhelmed by the notification that had just changed her life. Madison Beer had just been tweeted about by her idol, Justin Bieber. To her, it felt like a miracle. She was a regular kid with braces and posters of Justin on her bedroom wall. His music was her ringtone. And now somehow he'd seen her. What Madison didn't know was that this wasn't just the beginning of a dream. It was the start of a complicated, deeply layered journey. One that would give her fame, visibility, and a massive platform, but also force her to grow up fast. Behind the flashing lights and chart hits was a darker undercurrent. Industry control, objectification, image manipulation, and an unhealthy silence. And at
He's great. It's awesome that I get to have somebody who
the center of that silence was Justin Bieber. The same person who discovered her may have also held too much power over her. The world cheered when Madison was signed by Justin's team in 2012. She was just a kid, uploading cover songs to YouTube the same way Justin had years earlier. He saw himself in her, or at least that's how it was framed. When he tweeted about her singing, she exploded overnight. Scooter Braun, Justin's manager, swooped in to sign her. Overnight, Madison became part of the same machine. Same label, same manager, same rules. What felt like a dream soon started to look like something more calculated. Justin wasn't just a mentor, he was a global star, 19 years old, rich and wildly powerful. Madison, she was 12, barely in middle school. And the dynamic was lopsided from the start. In the beginning, Madison spoke only highly of Justin. She idolized him, called him a mentor, gushed about how surreal it was to be guided by someone she'd worshipped for years. She said he was always there with advice, telling her to focus on the music and block out the noise. But with time, fans started noticing gaps in the narrative. If Justin was so busy with his own music as Madison claimed, why was he the one reviewing her songs before release? Why was he the final voice approving her projects? And why, during the first 3 years of her being signed, did she only release a handful of songs? Yet even as Madison hinted at these disturbing truths, she never openly called out Justin. Their bond seemed deeper than music but strangely undefined. They were photographed together often, on hikes at late-night diners, walking hand in hand in trailside paparazzi shots. In one infamous moment, Justin left her behind mid-hike when paparazzi swarmed them, echoing a behavior pattern he'd later repeat with Hailey Bieber. It wasn't just uncomfortable, it was humiliating. Then came whispers, blind items, and growing suspicion that Madison wasn't just around for music, but to manage Justin behind the scenes. According to an anonymous 2017 tip, Madison was allegedly paid up to $10,000 a week by Justin's team, not to sing but to stick close, calm him down, keep him grounded. Not a girlfriend. Not a collaborator. A human shield. A handler in disguise. When you look at her minimal output during those early years, 2 singles in 3 years, compared to the media appearances and Justin-related press, it's not hard to connect the dots. This wasn't about building her brand. It was about protecting his. And it came at a cost. Madison, then a teenager, moved to LA at just 14. She said in interviews that her mom and brother came with her, but she was effectively on her own. No security. No curfew. No buffer from the predators and pressure of an industry that eats girls alive. Behind the glossy interviews was a teenager navigating producers, managers, and the suffocating expectations of being pretty enough without being too much. And that's the part nobody wanted to talk about. Madison wasn't being nurtured, she was being managed from every angle. At the time, Justin was a storm in human form. Fresh off his roller coaster relationship with Selena Gomez, battling personal demons, mental health struggles, and constant tabloid chaos. And Madison? She was quietly placed beside him as the world assumed they were just friends. Even as fans accused her of ruining Yelena, in 2018, Justin stayed silent. Madison had to publicly defend herself, insisting Justin was like a big brother and that she'd never date him. But their body language, their appearances, and the absence of professional output told a different story. The strangest part? Even now, neither of them have addressed the full extent of what was happening behind closed doors. Madison still defends Justin, calling him and Hailey family. She recently shared that they've all known each other since she was 10 and still spend time together. But fans aren't buying the fairy tale. They see the pattern. They remember the awkward birthday tributes Justin gave her on stage. They remember the now-deleted photo he posted where he said, "My friend Madison Beer has a bigger nose than me," with a strange angle that made people wonder if she was lying in bed. It wasn't cute. It felt like targeted humiliation. Over time, the ridicule added up. The photos, captions, the jokes. Justin has always had a knack for putting beautiful women down, publicly. Just ask Hailey. Whether it's mocking her fingers, teasing her looks, or minimizing her presence in interviews, Justin's pattern of passive-aggressive cruelty is well documented. And now, looking back, fans are wondering if Madison was just one of the first to endure it. Then came a darker allegation. A Reddit post claiming that Madison and Justin had a physical relationship back in 2014 when she was just 15 and he was 20. Nothing was confirmed. Nothing was denied. But the photos from the studio sessions around that time, his hands on her shoulders, their closeness, spoke volumes. Around the same era, Justin was also flying teen girlfriend Sophia Richie to countries where the age of consent was lower. Patterns like this don't disappear. They evolve. And what about Hailey? She officially started dating Justin in 2015, the same time Madison was still in the picture. While the two women have never publicly clashed, they follow each other on Instagram, and fans have long speculated about what Hailey really knows. Justin still comments on Madison's posts occasionally, birthday wishes, fire emojis, but rarely shows that same enthusiasm for his own wife. And when he does talk about her, it's often in jest or with a backhanded tone. The contrast is jarring. At the core of this tangled story is a question that no one has fully answered. If Justin truly cared about Madison as a mentor, why did her career stall while he flourished? Why did she spend years defending his mental state, assuring the public he was okay when all signs pointed to chaos? And why, after all that, does she still feel the need to protect him? In a world where power is often mistaken for care, Madison's silence speaks volumes. Maybe she believed that staying loyal would eventually lead to support for her own music. Maybe she hoped the bond they had would turn into backing. But what she got instead was years of waiting, shielding, and performing a role she never signed up for. The strong, composed girl with the perfect voice was always on the edge of breaking, just trying to survive the weight of someone else's legacy. So maybe the question isn't what Justin did. Maybe the real question is how many people stayed quiet to keep him protected. How many people helped craft the image of a wounded artist while making sure the girls caught in his orbit stayed smiling? As more pieces of the puzzle fall into place, one thing is clear. Madison Beer was more than just a protege. She was a pillar holding up a story far bigger than herself. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Was this mentorship, manipulation, or something even more unsettling? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives like this one.